Meet my friend Seepaw. Seepaw and his family live in a community on the outskirts of a town in the Eastern Cape. He loves it here, and his dream is for improving community life for everyone. He calls Mr. Anderson, a practitioner from a nearby NGO, who then arrives to help develop Seepaw's community. Mr. Anderson begins by gathering information to determine the needs of the community, which traditionally is a starting point that most practitioners use for developing communities. These are a list of findings. Many people standing around with nothing to do. Most people have little or no schooling and lack skills. Adults are unemployed and depend on welfare grants. Children have no recreational facilities or preschools. There are few community leaders who have little capacity to manage large programs. Seepaw feels his optimism fading by the grim picture painted. Mr. Anderson informs Seepaw that he would write a proposal for a project and come back with funding. Seepaw and his community wait for Mr. Anderson's return. After some time, Mr. Anderson arrives with funding for a soap-making project. He explains his project plan with a few community members and helps them to ensure it is implemented successfully and according to his plan. He leaves feeling confident that his soap-making project has created new jobs, developed new skills, and will provide a sustainable income to send children to school. As time goes by, the project generates some income, but power struggles and greediness amongst some project members results in finances not being managed properly. This develops mistrust among people due to a further lack of transparency when trying to resolve the issue. Some members become demotivated and leave the project, creating tension and separation within the wider community. The remaining members find it difficult to maintain the project as materials are not easily accessible and are too expensive. Seepaw tries to get hold of Mr. Anderson again to help them resolve the issues, but he learns that Mr. Anderson no longer works for the NGO and could offer no more support. The conditions in the community look worse than ever before. People blame Seepaw for their problems, and he finds it hard to remember the dream he had for his community. Hey, shh. Seepaw's grandmother saw the whole situation unfold and noticed that although Mr. Anderson had good intentions, he was unaware that his development approach created dependency, greed, depression, and blaming attitudes. Neither did it stimulate thinking. Most people are aware of material poverty, for example, unemployment, lack of food, and shelter. But there are two other types of poverty, one being poverty of the mind, for example, ignorance, limited thinking, and inferiority complexes. The other being poverty of the heart, for example, greed, depression, and blaming attitudes. Seepaw's grandmother knows that the health of our minds and hearts affect our material well-being, and with strong minds and hearts, their community can blossom. Seeing her previously excited and motivated grandson now depressed and apathetic, she decides it's time that they take matters into their own hands. She gathers the community members and begins by sharing stories of how they used to make improvements by themselves, without relying on external help. Slowly other stories emerge of previously successful community initiatives that they can learn from. Seepaw feels his optimism rising as he senses togetherness between the community members emerging again. His grandmother encourages the community to stop looking at what they don't have and focus on what they do have, and together they appreciate and take stock of their assets that they have to build on, like how their community is vibrant and a friendly place. They have many respected leaders. Local knowledge is abundant. They also have land and water in a really beautiful area. By being reminded of their assets that already exist, Seepaw and his community feel uplifted. They now have more clarity, creativity, and wisdom to come up with ideas and goals for a shared vision. Seepaw's grandmother's approach to community development is called asset-based community or citizen-led development, otherwise known as ABCD. Let's break that down. Assets. Assets are something of value that we already have that adds quality to life. For example, in Seepaw's community, they have friendliness and a sense of togetherness. They have local knowledge and skills like carpentry and beadwork. They also have physical assets like buildings and land, water in this really beautiful area. Base means looking at the glass half full and not empty. In other words, looking at what we have instead of what we don't have and using these assets as our foundation. Community-led means development from within the community, working together towards shared goals and visions. And development is a natural process of improvement and growth. Now Seepaw understands his community's role in their own development. Any assistance from outside organizations is accepted on their own terms from those who are able to support their vision, in this way creating healthier connections and networks. The asset-based approach is not a new idea. It's a natural process of development and as old as the human race. But since the 1950s, the ignorant approach of needs-based development has been dominating the field and creating dependency. We believe that poverties are being created daily due to the programs embedded in the needs-based approach. But by reminding people and communities of their strengths, people with strong minds and hearts are able to reduce poverty significantly.